Hello, and welcome to the We Recommend podcast, a movie podcast where every week we recommend a movie for you to watch and then come back here and listen to us discuss. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Jason.
There's a lot of attitudes going on around here. Don't make me get one.
Watch out.
This week we recommend Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Mr. Fantastic.
Wow, that was really good. So, Fantastic Mr. Fox, a 2009 film. When did you watch it? What's your first time watching it?
It was a couple of years ago. But I also watched it this morning, and it was awesome. I loved it.
It's a great fall Thanksgiving-y movie.
It's so beautiful.
We're doing it 1 week too early.
No.
Oh,
it's just to get you pumped for Thanksgiving.
Like, I think this is my first Wes Anderson film. I think so. And when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, this rules. No, I'm sure I saw Royal Tenenbaums first, but I don't think I watched the whole thing back in the day because it used to come on Comedy Central all the time. But man, Fantastic Mr. Fox, like, it's such a beautiful movie.
It is. It makes you feel all warm and fuzzy
It's
inside.
the perfect kids movie that adults can watch, right?
Yeah, it's great. It's deep. It's beautiful. It's fuzzy.
Yeah, I was telling Tyler from work, he was like, "Oh, I haven't seen that." It's like, dang.
Get with the program,
and I was like,
Tyler.
"Dude, it's on HBO. If you have kids, you got your kids, just set them down in front of the TV and watch it. It's easily something kids will love because it's just little rodents
It's
running
awesome.
around." I don't know. So, what is it about this movie that you like?
I just from like the very beginning, it starts off. It just looks fuzzy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you just want to. You see, and there's miniatures,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not usually like a miniature type person, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
Usually, when I first met you, you said, "Hi, I'm Jason. Don't talk about miniatures."
Yeah, I did say that, but I love this one. This one's amazing. It's so good, and like everything, just I want to hug everything in the movie, except for Bogus and Bean and Buns.
Bunts and beans. Yeah, they're gross looking. I love it. They made all the humans look as ugly as possible.
Okay, well, Bean reminds me a lot of my father-in-law too.
Oh, really?
He used to be a chicken farmer. He's not that ugly, and he doesn't drink constantly or smoke.
Is he the meanest of them all?
It's just the way he looks. He's like tall, skinny, bald head, like
it
big,
is
kind
such
of
a
big,
classic looking older guy. Yeah. But man, I do want to try that cider he's got. It looks so delicious.
Yeah, it tastes like melted gold.
Melted gold. Like melted gold. God, that was a terrible way of the phone. That's right. So this film is directed by Wes Anderson.
Whoop, whoop.
We just did like 2-3 months ago, Asteroid City. I went back and re-listened to that episode. That was a banger of an episode, man.
That was a great movie.
Like, it's actually nice to go back and listen to our episodes once I'm like months away from it. And I'm like, oh, wait, we got a little thing going on here. But it's also, so it was written by Wes Anderson and directed by Noah Baumbach. Do you know anything about him?
No, I just know that when they showed the book, the guy holding up the book by
Roald
Dahl.
I actually I completely forgot about that when I was rewatching this. I was like, oh, it's a Roald Dahl book?
Yeah, never knew that.
Yeah, me neither. But so Noah Baumbach, he is the writer and director. He's done movies, Marriage Story, Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson.
I love Scarlett Johansson.
Frances Ha. You ever seen that? That movie's amazing.
No, I've never seen these movies.
And The Squid and the Whale.
Yeah, I have seen that one.
Yeah, that's Noah Baumbach. It's also
cool.
Jesse Eisenberg. That's
a badass movie.
If you watch that, it's like him and Wes Anderson are like made for each other. It's kind of wild because they both have that like dry sense of humor, and and even Noah Baumbach does pretty well with like family stuff, but it's always like families breaking apart, which I guess kind of is Wes Anderson too. So it's they're kind of match made in heaven. But I love The Squid and the Whale. Jesse Eisenberg's in that, and he's hilarious. The movie's so dry and funny, just like all of Wes Anderson's stuff.
It's very what does he say? Deep.
Yeah.
Or something.
Deep. It's very deep.
No, not deep. It's like, oh God, I don't know.
It's okay. So this film stars George Clooney. I was going to try to do a George Clooney impersonation, but you know what? I have not the voice for it. He's got a really deep voice, and you really can feel it in this.
Mrs.
Fox is Meryl Streep.
Oh, that was great. That's the first time I recognized that.
Really?
This morning.
Yeah. Whenever I watched it a couple nights ago, I was like, wait, who's this voice? Whose voice is this? Badger is Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Love him. Ash is Jason Schwartzman. And the rat is William Dafoe.
That's what that was. I didn't realize that either. It was such a good character.
I know. I'm like, I want more rat.
I thought it was a weasel at first. Yeah.
I would love for them to come out with a prequel. And it's all rat from like as a child to leading up all the way to the fact whenever he decides to take a job for beans. So in the book, the animals and the humans don't talk to each other.
Did they talk to each other in this one? I
Yeah.
know they write letters.
Yeah, they write letters, and there's one point where it's like, "You got me, I got you surrounded, Fox." And he's like, "I know," or something like that.
I know, but I feel like they never actually communicated. They were talking at each other at certain points, but I wasn't sure if they actually
That's true.
had like
That's actually a good point because I'm not 100%
conversation.
sure either, like how much they're actually talking to each other.
He's like, "You took everything," or like, oh, when they were gonna shoot. Anyway.
Oh, bro, I got all that written down. We're gonna get to it. Love it. So, writer, producer, and director Wes Anderson, to get the audio. So, whenever you listen to this and you hear like the animal speaking, it sounds like what it would sound like if they're in this situation. Like if they're talking in a field, it sounds like they're talking in a field.
Oh, cool.
So what he did is that they went on location to recreate like and increase the naturalness of it. So like if they were in a forest, they went out into a forest to talk. If they're so essentially they went out into forests, the attics, into stables, went underground for some things to record dialogue to get like a better sounding and it to sound more like what it should sound like if they're actually foxes and stuff.
Fuck, cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. I remember watching the behind the scenes for it and just like Wes Anderson and George Clooney just sitting in a field just recording dialogue. I'm like, that's so funny. Man, I love it. So when Mr. Fox and Kylie are in the Fox's study going over the plans for the heist, Fox is sitting in a large armchair with a board on the armrest that he is using as a table for his microphone. That's exactly how a Roald Dahl used to write his stories based on old photographs.
That's fucking cool too.
I like that. I just realized Wonka's coming out soon, which is
Wonka.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet's Wonka. I was like, oh,
who's gonna be Wonka?
Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, I thought
beautiful little man. His SNL was great. We watched his SNL from this past week. It's so funny. But man, we're gonna have to do the Charlie and the Chocolate.
Maybe we should watch like all three of them, and then.
Man, that second one, that
was rough. The Johnny Depp one.
Yeah, it was, great and not great at the exact same time. Dude, the Oompa Loompas in the film.
The Oompa Loompa.
They go off. The music is so wild. It's just a wild movie. It's insane.
It is
I actually didn't hate it.
I didn't either. I didn't hate it.
I was transfixed by it.
Yes.
If anything. I was
strangely.
Like, there's some ideas here.
Yes.
I like them and I don't like them. I don't know. But nothing beats Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's called. Yeah, Charlie.
But Grandpa, you could walk this whole time?
Yeah.
You asshole.
Slap that man across the face. That's what I do. So Roald Dahl's Fantastic Mr. Fox was the first book writer, producer, and director Wes Anderson owned. His mother, Texas Ann Burroughs, bought it for him at the St. Francis Book Fair in Austin, Texas, when he was about 7 years old. Anderson has kept this same copy on his bookshelf ever since.
Oh,
so that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I was wondering, I really didn't know anything about Fantastic Mr. Fox until this movie.
I mean, we used to read Roald Dahl in school and stuff, but I never saw this.
I've never read a single Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
I had his books growing up, but I never read any of them. So altogether, there's 535 puppets made for the movie. Mr. Fox had 17 different styles alone, and each of Mr. Fox's styles had to be done in 6 different sizes. He has 102 puppets alone.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Jesus Christ.
Talk about a tedious job.
Yeah.
Wild.
Can't imagine, just the amount of work that goes into something like this.
All the hair they had to put on those things. Apparently, they used they were like using real fur and stuff like that, even like hair from people on set.
Nice.
That's what gives it that like whenever you look at them, like they do close-ups, how the hair looks.
Yeah.
But then like every time that they'd go to talk, it like changes so much. And they were wanting to not do that so that it looked better and more sleek. But he's like, no.
Yeah, I think
not how it works.
The coarseness of how it looks kind of helps.
It's like, I like that there's a little jankiness to it a little bit at the same time.
It's cool.
The more jank, the better. I hope that's not like a bad word. I don't know.
No,
Is jank a bad word?
I don't think so.
So throughout the movie, the word cuss is used in place of actual cussing.
So funny.
When asked about its origin in a radio interview on Fresh Air with Terry Gross, Wes Anderson said, I don't even remember. I think it was just to use the concept of profanity as a replacement for profanity itself. It turned out to be very versatile.
I fucking love it.
In keeping with his theme, one of the buildings seen in the movie bears cuss written as spray painted graffiti. Natalie pointed that out to me.
That's cool.
So I love this movie because it's like a Thief with a Heart of Gold movie.
Yeah.
It's like Ocean's 11 and I don't know. What's another movie? Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? But with foxes. And I'm trying to think if there's another Steven Soderbergh movie with it's like George Clooney and J-Lo.
J-Lo?
Yeah, it's so good. What is it, George?
And like Three Kings was another like thief movie with
Actually, I've seen it because that's got Spike Jonze. Out of Sight. That's the movie I was thinking of. It's so good.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen Three Kings, I believe. I think. I have to remember.
Yeah, they're in like Kuwait and they steal the gold.
Yeah. It's like, but it's just, I don't know. It's just a kid's movie with so many adult themes like midlife crises.
Yeah.
Crises, whatever how you say it. Individuality. It's just exploring all those things. And I love it.
Yeah, it's super deep and just beautiful and
it's like it makes you feel sad.
quirky. Yeah.
There's like
funny.
2 moments where I'm like, actually, there's really like 3 or 4. I'm like, don't cry. Don't. Stop, Jesse. You're taking notes. You can't cry right now.
Get your ink all wet.
Which is funny because we were watching Press Your Luck last night. It's the one with the whammies.
Game show?
Yeah, the game show.
The whammies.
And man, there was this contestant on there, and it just seemed like every time she kept winning so much money. It's crazy. And every gift possible. But every gift she was getting was perfect for one of her kids that was like on the spectrum.
Oh, wow.
And one of her kids that are getting engaged. And it's just like the more she kept winning, the more she kept like kind of breaking down. And then Elizabeth Banks started breaking down. And I look over a little bit, and Natalie was kind of like holding back a little bit. And then I'm like, oh, God. This is the best game show I've ever seen in my life. Episode I've ever seen. This has never happened. But anyways.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no crying, no crying.
I hate the whammies. They're so mean.
They're so cute.
No, they're not. Someone nearly lost over $100,000 and the whammies just like making fun of them. I'm like, I'll kill you, whammy. If I could get my hands on you. Anyways, this is a podcast about Fantastic Mr. Fox.
No, it's about whammies.
I'd love to start a game show podcast.
Oh, that'd be
where we
sick.
just watch a game show every day and then just talk about what happened
We
in
need
the
to come up
episode.
with our own game.
It'd get like 5 views. Be like, all right, you ready to get in the film, man?
Yes.
All right, so it starts off, we see a little, what would you call it? Not a lullaby. It starts off with a little poem at the beginning. I don't know.
Poem.
Bogus and Bunsen Bean.
Oh, okay.
One fat, one short, one lean. These horrible crooks, so different in looks, were none the less equally mean. But really, because Beans is way meaner.
Yeah, he's way meaner. I feel like the other two are just kind of stooges.
The other two, they're just like, I don't know. He just stole like a couple. Like, I don't know. We got plenty of chickens. Like, I mean, we don't like them, but what are we going to do, you know?
We're not going to blow up the whole hillside.
This is life. But they're too scared of Beans.
He's scary.
He is. He really is. So we meet Mr. Fox by a tree. He's stretching. Looks like he's getting ready for something. And then we see this hot babe walk up, Mrs. Fox.
Foxy lady.
So we learn that Mrs. Fox, she had to go to the doctor for some reason. They're on their way to steal some Boyd's.
Felicity Fox.
Yeah. So she wants to go one way, but he suggests a different way, and she just gives in. It seems like this happens a lot.
Yeah, I
What
feel
we'll
like it
soon find
does.
out is it will. And then we get the classic, which is the coolest thing ever. So they're going to a squab farm. It's like, what's a squab?
Yeah, it's
Some sort of chicken. I don't know.
some sort of bird.
He asked for advice from Mrs. Fox, but he's like, actually, let's just do it this way. He says, hey, what's wrong with you? Like, you look skittish. But then he like starts complimenting her a lot. It's like, it seems to be like
bombing, I think.
Yeah, it seems to be like, hey, we're going to do whatever I want, but don't worry, you'll get some compliments out of it.
Yes.
And then he has a line, you look like you're glowing. And it's like,
There's
it
like a
just
light
cuts to
bulb
her,
inside of her.
and
Yeah.
she is no longer like a puppet. It looks like a little like statue looking thing just glowing. It's like, it must be the light or something.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That's so clever and good.
That's what actually happens when you get pregnant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're no longer a human of flesh. You're just like a statue.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like
like a
glowing
lamp.
inside.
Yeah, like
Okay,
a fun lamp.
That's cool. Ooh, I wonder if they have lamps of these. I'd totally get a Mr. and Mrs. Fox lamp. So then they make their way to stealing the squabs. It's this amazing stop motion shots where it's just like a very panned out shot, and you just see them kind of running around doing flips and stuff, and it looks so good.
That's sweet.
As you see like the farmer like working on things throughout the farm. So they get the birds, but Mr. Fox sees a trap, and he's like, oh, what's this? This must be a spring-loaded trap.
Really interested in this trap.
You know, I bet it's going to fall right over there. Here, come stand where I am. Let me pull this chain. Pulls it, lands right over him. It's like, why? Why would you do that? You're away. You did it.
He's too confident.
You don't have to worry anymore. So then as he does that, he's like, oh, yeah, I wonder, I guess it's not spring-loaded. She just drops the bomb. I'm pregnant.
Yeah, he does a teethy smile,
He's like,
toothy grin.
Wow, we're going to have a cub.
I'm so excited.
And then she tells him, you have to find another line of work.
Oh, man.
Cut to 2 years later, or 12 Fox years later.
That's so funny.
I know. So we cut to them. They're living in a foxhole. He's like a newspaper columnist, right? That's what he is.
Yes.
But he doesn't think anyone actually reads his column. We meet Ash, their son. He doesn't want to go to school. He is exactly like me. I'd wake up. I don't feel good. I'm dying. I threw up. No, you didn't.
He just spits
yeah, I
on the
did.
floor and he gets mad.
I'm Ash. I'm grumpy. I'm weird, and I spit. Ash is my favorite character. I love the guy.
I love his pajamas.
Yeah,
His cape.
Oh, he's so cool and cute. So we learn that Christopherson is coming to stay with him. Ash doesn't like it one bit. And he walks off and spits. Fox says he doesn't want to live in a hole anymore. It's like, it makes me feel poor, Mrs. Fox. We are poor, but we are happy.
Oh,
Which is a
so
classic like thief movie trend. Like if it's a thief with a family,
yeah.
it's always like, I want more. I want to provide for this family. It's like, no, we're fine. We're happy. And it's like, look, you can just go. I mean, I don't know. Like,
I
just
get it,
go
man.
hunt for your food.
I feel like a lot of men feel this way too. A lot of men think that, and I've felt this way before.
I feel this way all the time.
don't
I
feel-
want more money.
Yeah, you want more money, but it's not that it defines you, but it definitely the amount that you can provide for your family kind of leverages like how you feel about yourself.
Yeah, and just having more money makes everything easier.
Yeah,
Unless you have too much.
more money, more problems.
Well, that's if you have too much money and people in your family know and they want to borrow it, and then it causes fights. But if you have just enough money where you don't really have to worry about too much, and you're also not rich enough for people to want your money,
yeah,
it's like the perfect medium. Maybe making like, I don't know, well, where we live.
like 3 chickens a week.
Yeah, 3 chickens a week. Like if I just had 3 chickens a week. Some people in this movie eat 12 chickens a day. And then he's about to get ready to go to about to get ready to go to work, and so he's got to hurry up and eat his breakfast.
I love this. They eat.
It's the best. It's
because they're all so polite until the food gets there.
It's so funny until it's time for them to eat, and then they don't even eat half of it because it's how delicately she like made the breakfast and set it on the table. And, like, and then Mrs. Fox says, foxes live in a hole for a reason. So Ash and Mr. Fox don't have a good relationship because he like comes out and he's like, what are you wearing? Why are you wearing that? They have like a classic weird son
Yeah.
and like aggro father-son relationship, essentially. We see Mr. Fox go into a tree that is for sale. We meet Kylie, who's the super. He's a little possum.
But I love how the agent has like a cell phone.
Yeah, that's actually Wes Anderson's voice.
Oh.
And I love Possum because he has hypnotizing eyes and just a bucket of minnows while he's working on this house. It's and every time you cut to him, he's got the
crazy eyes.
Yeah, the little circle eyes. Or like hypnotizing eyes.
Like he's confused or overwhelmed?
Well, I think it's like, whenever I'm in Tennessee, we see possums like every day. Every day on my way to work, there's a possum.
So it's kind of like they're blinded.
You know how like they like stare at you and they're just like,
yeah, they freeze.
I'm just making really big eyes and just like, yeah, they like freeze and just stare at you and it's like, what? And then if you stay around too much, it's possums are so cute though.
They are cute, and they're so very
they're scary.
Good animals. Don't kill possums.
Yeah. Well, it's not my fault that they have suicide missions running into the road.
Yeah, they don't.
It's like squirrels and possums. They're just like, car, go! It's like they're trying to race your car, and it never works out in their favor.
Oh, man.
That and armadillos.
Armadillos. Have you ever run over an armadillo?
Yes, plenty.
It's like hitting a giant speed bump.
I'm sure you drove through Shelbyville. There's like one on the road every day.
And what the hell? Where did they all come from? Global warming.
I don't know. I've only seen one, like up close, and that was because it was dead in our yard growing up. And I thought it was the coolest thing. Good thing I didn't touch it because apparently you get.
They do carry leprosy.
Yeah. Which I didn't know. That's scary. I'd end up being one of the leprosy people in Princess Mononoke. I think we brought this up in Princess Mononoke. That's funny. So while going through the house, he notices Bogus Bunts and Beans farms. He's like, "Who? What's that?"
He's like, "Oh shit, getting the itch."
He's getting that itch. He sees some chickens, and then we go to Badger, Beaver, and Beaver attorneys at law.
This Bill Murray is so good.
So good. He sees Badger, who's played by Bill Murray, who is telling him not to move to the tree. He can't afford it, and it's too dangerous for his species. Badger explains that who the three farmers are. Bogus is a chicken farmer, weighs the same as a young rhinoceros, and he eats 12 chickens a day, 3 for breakfast, lunch, dinner
and dessert.
Yeah. Golly, that's insane. Bunts is a duck and goose farmer. He's the size of a pot-bellied dwarf.
I feel like they're height shaming Bunts a little bit.
It's like,
he's like swimming in the shallow end.
He's like 3 foot tall.
Yeah, he's not tall.
It's like I was like, whoa, he's real short. He's a real small guy. Bean is a turkey and apple farmer. He created his own version of both.
I love his apples. They look cool.
Amazing. They look so delicious. He lives off apple cider. He's skinny as a pencil, smart as a whip, possibly the scariest man currently living.
He only drinks and smokes.
And the local children have a scary rhyme about him. Bogus Bunts and Beans.
Bogus Bunts and Beans.
One tall, one short, one
short would be.
Yep. Wow. What is it? Do you hear that? It's a giant crowd outside screaming for us because we were so good at that. Wow.
We're going on tour.
I love when I do that. You get a little, it looks like you get a little nervous every time. It's like, what is he talking about? I don't hear anything. Is Jesse losing it?
Yes.
Badger says he shouldn't do it. And then Mr. Fox says, I understand what you're saying. Your comments are valuable, and I'm going to ignore your advice. Badger, the cuss you are.
Cuss you are.
Did you cuss at me? Don't cuss at me. And then they have their little. They get tired and just sit down by the house. I love that.
I love that they live in a dam.
Like it's
like a beaver dam.
It's little things that they add. So like stuff like that is so small and not that much in it, right? Where there's like them acting as animals. But every time it pops up, it's like, this is so great. So smart and funny. So they're moving into the tree. Mr. Fox sees Christopherson coming up to the tree. He's comparing, then like we're cutting to like the kids are all outside and like they're trying to jump into this tiny little pool.
So funny when Ash jumps in it.
Yeah, and it's like,
watch me, Dad. He's like flailing his arms.
And then Christopherson does it perfectly. He does like the tiniest little splash ever. So, wow, yeah. And so
So
Mr.
Ash
Fox
immediately hates him.
Yeah, Mr. Fox
Yeah.
is comparing the two kids. Christopherson's just better at everything, says Mr. Fox. And this makes Ash super mad. Plus, Christopherson knows karate,
Gosh.
which will come in handy later. Ash asks if his dad thinks he is an athlete. He doesn't really answer him. It's like the classic, like, ooh, son, you kind of suck at everything. And then we learn that Christopherson's father has double pneumonia.
Yeah, he's super sick. He's at home. He's staying here. And he's like super sad, but Ash is being a dick.
Yeah, real douche about it. And maybe later that father will only have single pneumonia. So we're at the top of the tree at night. Mr. Fox is hanging out with Kylie, and he's contemplating his life. He doesn't think he can be happy not stealing birds. It's like a line. It's like, I just don't think a fox should live without having a chicken in his teeth.
Yeah, I get it, man.
Christopherson wants to know where he can sleep, if he can sleep anywhere else, because right now his thing's
He's
underneath the table.
Yeah, under the toy train table.
Ash lifts up. It's like, there's a lot of attitudes going on around here. Don't make me get one. So he's super rude to Christopherson.
It's really rude, and Christopherson's crying.
Yeah, he gets under their table and starts crying.
Oh, man.
But Ash feels a little bad, and he gets down from his little bunk bed and starts playing with a train, and then
it's kind of sweet.
It's really sweet, and it's the cutest thing you'll ever did see.
At first, I thought when he turned on the train, he was like trying to drown out the sound of him crying. Yeah. but then it turns out to be, just something.
Just a little sweet moment.
Nice, just trying to get him out of his funk.
And the train that's in that scene is the same train that you see throughout the film, like around the area.
Yeah.
It's just they just use like forced perspective to make it look bigger and smaller.
Miniature.
Yeah, exactly. So Mr. Fox, he says he has a plan. He tells Kylie his plan.
And how did Kylie get roped into all this?
I don't know. He's just around. He's a super. I guess I think it's the classic like thief with a dim-witted friend, right? That just does everything that he wants.
Just along for the ride.
It's like the two other guys in "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Yeah,
something like that. But he's gonna rob Bogus first. While explaining his plan, he is not sure Kylie is getting any of it because after he's saying a long speech,
his eyes are all swirly.
He's just like all swirly. He's like, I have no idea if you're getting any of this.
He's just giving me a signal. Let me know if you're getting it.
Just throws his hand up. Ash is with so we cut to Ash at school. He's with his science partner Agnes, and we're hearing like some commotion going on next to him, and Agnes can't stop staring at Christopherson. Apparently, she's gonna have a crush on him.
He's got fluffy ears.
And then you have Christopherson with like the beaver bully.
Yeah.
And he's just like explodes something. Christopherson's like, great. Well, that's not what we're supposed to do. Everything just blew up. Thanks a lot. And then Ash notices that Agnes is staring. It's like, you're supposed to be my lab partner. She goes, I am. No, you're not. You're disloyal.
You're disloyal.
You're disloyal.
Man, give her a break.
That's so funny. I wish I was that clever as a little kid. Just drop the disloyal bomb. So we're on to master plan phase 1, Bogus Chicken House. His plan is immediately interrupted because as they're going to jump over the fence, they realize it's an electric fence. So they kind of got to improvise a little bit. Kylie brings up wolves and freaks Mr. Fox out.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, the whole bringing up his phobia of wolves all the time.
Because if there's one thing a fox is scared of, it's a bigger dog.
Yeah, a bigger predator, sure. But I think it's also like the wolf represents wild, like how he used to be wild.
Yeah, how he truly wants to be a wild animal.
But he's kind of scared of it at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
No, that's exactly it. You actually nailed it right on the head. And we also learned that because what's scarier to a possum? A loud noise. So Kylie, whenever they see the electric fence, Kylie's like, "Ooh, it's not gonna thunder, is it? I have a phobia of thunder."
He's like, "What is that?" He's like, "I think it says like beware of shock for death or something."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, good, it's not thunder."
Yeah.
Or something.
So, Mr. Fox, they have to improvise. They are able to get to the chickens, but they do this whole thing. They got to climb a tree. They shoot some blueberries at some beagles because apparently beagles love blueberries.
They love blueberries.
And they go and eat it, but there's like a split second, and then all of a sudden, like they have X's in their eyes and they just like fall straight down. Yeah. And so once they get to the chickens, they have Mr. Fox said that you have to like
You gotta kill him in one bite.
Kill him in one bite. And then whenever they get there, you see Kylie trying to bite. It's like,
He's just gnawing.
It's like, it's different for me. I have different type of teeth. I can't do this in one bite. And it's like, oh, I never thought about that. I don't know what actually type of teeth they have.
They have super sharp teeth.
That's what I was thinking.
Tiny.
Oh, is that what it is? So they probably just can't like.
I don't know. I think maybe they. I'm not sure.
I guess because they're so much smaller and they don't have the agility, they can't just like shake a.
I'm not a possumologist.
Well, my dog can show you how that's done. He caught a mole one time. He just straight up shook that thing to death.
My cat leaves dead moles on my doorstep.
Really?
Daily.
I wish the little neighborhood cats would catch more moles so my yard isn't just a bunch of molehills. Anyways, so once they get in there and they get all these chickens, they have no escape plan. And so once they get to the fence again, all the alarms start going off and you hear all the dogs and people are coming. So there's like, whoa, let's go. And they just start climbing the fence and they're getting electrocuted every like 3 seconds. But so they're able to escape, and they say that they got to go to like the 5 and dime store to make it look like they bought the chickens themselves.
Yeah, but they forgot to take off the bogus tag on the toe tag.
Yeah, because Mrs. Fox is like, oh, it's like it has Bogus's tag on it. It's like, oh yeah, it must have escaped, and after that they killed it. I don't know, something like that. And then Mr. Fox tells Kylie it's Buns tonight. Kylie's like, I thought it was just one more job. It's like, yeah, it's a 3-parter.
It's a triple header.
It's a triple header. So we're on to Bunch's refrigerated farmhouse. We see them sneak into his farm. It's still a bunch of birds. It's like all done on like security cameras. So it's like super quick.
He's like reading a magazine.
Yeah. It's like,
he picks the lock, opens the door.
It's like, what's the point of having all these things if you're not going to stare at them, right?
Did you get a look at the magazine he was reading? I couldn't see it.
Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't see it either. So then we see Christopherson learning whack bat. It's very confusing.
It's super confusing.
It's like I was gonna write down the entire monologue, but I was like, it doesn't even matter. I don't think so. The only reason I would want to do it is so I could do a Owen Wilson impersonation.
Yeah, wow,
whack bat.
It's like
you really gotta whack cricket, the bat.
Kinda.
Yeah, you catch the pine cone on fire and then you hit it.
And then you see, I love it. Owen Wilson's character is just like. He's talking about it and he's mapping it all out with the X's and zeros, and then you see them do it in real speed.
It's great.
And it's
such
some
good.
Kids are just spinning in circles.
Yeah, one person's just like on like the far right, just throwing like pine cones in a bucket. I'm like, what?
And they never said anything about the pine cone being lit on fire first.
And I love that. Like as they're doing it, everything's just running around, and at the end. Divide by 9, please. It's like, what? Why would you do that? Why divide by 9?
That's great.
It is pretty great. But it turns out it's very confusing, but Christopherson is very good at it. Ash is pissed.
Yeah.
Because before Christopherson goes in, the coach Skip is like, come out, Ash. He's just like running. No, coach, I got it. Just let me do one more round. Let me finish this up. I'm getting better though, right? And he's like, apparently, Ash's dad, Mr. Fox, was the best at it.
Best whack bat player.
It's like, am I getting better? Am I getting more like my father? And he's like, duh. It's like, what is it? Don't compare yourself to your father. It's just not going to work out for you.
But he's like, you're improving. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Then Ash turns to his left. He sees Agnes has a sign with a K on it. He's like, what's that? Oh, it's for something else. It's like, no, it's not. Like, and then she's like, we're going steady. And he's like,
because of him eating dinner, and he's got the giant trophy on the table eating.
I just love Ash so much. All the angst. So Mr. Fox, he lies to his wife so that they can go steal from Bean's cider cellar. As they're going there, Ash tries to tag along, but he's like, just go home. Get out of here. We don't want you here.
And then Christopherson shows up. He's like, oh, good, you're here.
It's like, oh, good. We needed you. And
that was a bad line.
Christopherson's like, are you sure about this? He's like, yeah, just don't tell anybody. And he's like, I don't like to be dishonest with people.
Yeah, well, keep your mouth shut and everything will be okay.
Yeah. So they sneak in and they're confronted by a knife-wielding rat that is hired as security.
Yeah, I totally thought he was a French weasel.
Hey, partner.
He's wearing that like striped shirt.
Yeah, striped shirt, yeah.
Man.
He brings up his wife. Apparently, she was wild back in the day. And then so as they're about to like fight, like the rat's ready to fight Mr. Fox, we hear like a door open and the rat gets distracted and they pull like this rug out from under him and he falls into this like
into the
cellar or apple cellar or something. And they get this because of that they got the upper hand and they knocked him out. Bean's wife comes in and they're hiding from her. She doesn't see them even though she should have. And Christopherson, is she blind? I think she might have an astigmatism or maybe cataracts or some form. Either way, she doesn't see well. But they're able to make it out with some cider. The farmers have an emergency meeting. We see that Beans is the leader. Beans has a plan to kill Mr. Fox. They know where he lives. I gotta ask you something.
Go for it.
Beans. Who do you think voices Beans?
I do not know.
You don't know?
I don't even have a guess. Who is it?
What if I told you that it was Michael Gambon?
I would be confused because I don't know who that is.
Dumbledore.
Really?
He's Dumbledore, yeah. He's the second Dumbledore.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
This was the scene where I was like, wait, that sounds a lot like Dumbledore. Now he's like, yeah, it's Michael Gambon. It's Dumbledore. I was like,
Harry Potter.
It's like once he really starts talking, it's like, oh, that is Dumbledore. So
that's cool.
Yeah. And as Fox is sneaking into his house, it's this really creepy shot. Like as he's like walking to the house with Kylie and like behind in one of the doorways, you just see an outline of Mrs. Fox. And I was like, hey. And he's caught by Mrs. Fox.
Dang. Because he's been like filling the fridge up.
Yeah.
The pantry.
And it's this great line. Mrs. Fox has, if what I think is happening, it better not be.
Yeah.
So
don't
good.
lie to your wife.
So they're kind of having a fight. He's trying to like be like, oh no, nothing's happening. Christopherson comes in with a bandit hat on. It's like, why is he wearing that? His ears were cold as his ears are sticking out of the bandit hat.
He's just digging himself deeper and deeper.
Yeah, but so outside of his tree, there's 3 farmers. They're hiding in the bushes waiting for the fox. They're gonna blow him away. The foxes, they sense the farmers are around, like the wind's blowing, and they're like,
yeah, it changes directions.
Yeah, and they hear like snapping and stuff.
And he can smell the donuts filled with goose meat or whatever.
Yeah,
livers. And he smells the cider and the whatever the other guy did. I can't remember.
And so they just start shooting at Kylie and Mr.
They're just
Fox.
bouncing around, dodging.
Yeah, but all they're able to get was Mr. Fox's tail. And then Beans takes it.
And my 5-year-old daughter, before she went to school this morning, I was watching this. She goes, oh, is this the Fox movie where the fox loses his tail? I'm like, you were like 3 when you watched this.
That's awesome.
Because at first I was like, no, that's not the same movie because I didn't remember.
Yeah.
And then when this happened, I was like, oh, shit.
Okay. Isn't it bad that they have such better memories than us? It's wild. I know. I've completely forgot all about the tail part too. I guess because I was just so focused on the midlife crisis.
Let me ask you a question. Does your wife collect animal tails?
No.
Interesting.
Do you?
I don't.
Does your wife?
We have a few.
Really?
We have several squirrel tails.
Okay.
And we have
y'all just like walk around and find them and keep them?
No, she's had them for years and years and years.
Oh, okay.
She used to find the squirrel ones, and then she's bought more since, but not just squirrels, like other.
What do y'all do with them?
They just kind of hang there.
Just kind of hang around.
And if you see them hanging, you touch them, they're soft.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's cool. Huh.
It's a disembodied tail.
Disembodied tail. Y'all ever just like wear them around the house?
It's just something you get used to.
Just be like Mr. Fox at the end of this. Clip it onto your butt.
That would be sweet. I thought it was such a good idea.
If y'all have a foxtail, I may need it because one year I'm going to go as Mr. Fox for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
So after they realize that they missed but got the tail, they call in reinforcements. Ash is upset that he wasn't invited to the robbery.
Oh.
While in bed, they hear the farmers are digging. Like they're just in bed, and Mr. Fox is like, I can't sleep. I sleep on my back. I get acid reflux.
He can't sleep on his back because his tail's missing. Can't sleep on his stomach because he gets acid reflux.
Yeah, and so we start seeing shaking, and then all of a sudden we realizing that the farmers are digging them out. So he's like, I have an idea. dig. They start digging straight down. After they dig, Mrs. Fox loses her temper. It's like,
but they go to that beautiful room,
there's a
the
little mineral
deposit.
Room. It's like, I'm about to lose my temper.
Oh, it's so
It's like,
sparkly.
are you? When is it going to start? Now.
Scars him.
Scratches him right in the face.
Ouch.
She brings up the promise they made 12 Fox years later, or earlier. And she's like, why did you lie to me? And he goes, because I'm a wild animal. And this story is, she says, like, this story is too predictable. He goes, really? Predictable? What happens in the end? We all die unless you change.
Dang.
It's like,
shit's real, honey.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's just such a classic, like, Thief with a Heart of Gold movie. It's great.
Oh, it's so, but he can't.
Yeah, he can't.
Just can't
stop. It's his nature. He's a wild animal. So the farmers still didn't find the foxes after they dug.
So he calls in the
3 backhoes.
The backhoes, but one like little for the little guy.
And I just love it. It cuts to them. They're like,
and then when they go up to the hill, one of them's just banging on the side of the hill.
It's so great. They can barely even make it up the hill. Like the guy with the big guy, his is
get up all the way.
His is struggling the most. The foxes, after this, they start digging further and further. Mr. Fox asks if Ash is mad because now he's doing like, oh, my wife is mad. Let me try to make sure that my kid still likes me. He ignores him. He puts dirt in his ears.
I love how they're digging.
Yeah.
It's like just one person in the front, everyone else behind them. And they're all like,
it's like, how are the people in the back doing anything in this situation?
I love it.
So Ash and Christopherson are talking. This is after they find like a little space to like rest. Ash is spreading rumors about him. Apparently he's got like ticks and
beagle ticks.
Beagle ticks and stuff.
Pelt lice.
And he's like, please stop doing that. That's very mean. It's like, it's really hurting my reputation. It's like, the way you're sitting like that, why do you sit like that? Because that's doing more for your reputation than anything.
God, Ash.
Then we see,
come on.
What's next? Yeah, what's next? And then we see Beans on the news wearing Mr. Fox's tail as a tie.
I wonder what he's doing with your tail. Probably wearing it as a tie.
Yeah. And like before you see him on the news, it cuts to the weird, crazy looking kid. Mr. Beans' kid. Guy looks like a nightmare.
Yeah.
I was really hoping, I was like, oh man, it'd be perfect to play that kid just as like a little small role. Rupert Grint. Ron from Harry Potter.
Oh.
I was like, it looks like him if he was insane looking. It's not him.
Oh, okay.
I wish it was. So the farmers decide to blow up the foxholes. Like it's like they just get like this huge thing of dynamite and blow it up.
They blew the shit out of it.
But then after they do that, all they see is a little small hole in the middle of the blast. It's like, God dang, these boys are digging. So he gets every single person that works for all of them at all 3 farms.
108.
They're going to come there and they're going to starve them out. So we're there. It's 3 days later.
2.5
weeks in Fox time.
Later.
Yeah. They see some movement in the dirt. They're like getting scared. They're not sure what it is. They blow out a light. And we see that it's the other animals. You got like a badger, a mole, the beavers.
They are pissed.
Got everything. They're all very mad. We have rights.
It's funny. All your fault, Mr.
When he
Fox.
yells, we have rights, it's like in Asteroid City when it's like, this trial is a mockery. It's always like just a really like serious line from that you'd expect in like another movie or something. But so all the animals are mad because they're all trapped in the ground. They essentially just ran all the little animals underground because they're just killing everything that they see.
They're all like burrowing animals, aren't they?
Yeah, most of them. I don't really think. Do badgers burrow?
Badgers burrow.
Badgers burrow.
They burrow.
Beavers? Do they dig? Do they dig though?
No.
They build. They don't dig. So we're cutting to the bully beaver. He's wanting to make Ash eat mud, and then he just wipes it all over his face, and then Chris beats him up.
Oh, he takes off his shoes. He's like, why you take your shoes off? So don't break your nose when I kick you.
Yeah, and so he beats it. Christopherson beats him up.
Kicks the shit out of him.
And then Ash is like, I can fight my own fight.
No, you
Christopherson. No, you can't. So Mr. Fox, he's coming up with a plan. He goes into like this side of a wall, like they're like dugout wall, and he's just like making movements, like calculating stuff. He tells Mrs. Fox to go back with the rest of the animals that are hiding. The other animals are going to go dig to the 3 farmers and steal everything.
Hell yeah.
Mrs. Fox talks to Ash. Ash, I know what it's like to feel different. And Ash, I'm not different, am I? Mrs. Fox, we all are, especially him. There's something fantastic about that.
Oh,
Ash,
so sweet.
not me. I prefer to be an athlete.
Yeah.
He still hasn't.
Just wants to be like old dad.
He hasn't accepted who he is yet, his individuality. So the gang, they begin to dig and bring everything back to the group. And then we're cutting. While they're doing this, we cut to Petey, guy with a banjo.
Yes. Okay. So when this part this is hilarious.
It is the wildest thing. And after like 30 seconds of it, you're like, wait, what are we singing about it now? Because this is so silly.
Ashley, my wife, Ashley, she said that Petey looks exactly like Jim Henson.
Oh, really?
So I thought maybe that was kind of like an homage.
It might be. I don't know.
I couldn't tell.
I couldn't. I only know what old Jim Henson looks like, and he doesn't really look like that.
She said that the way he dressed and just his hair, everything.
Yeah.
It looked just like him.
I love it because like towards the end, Beans comes up. What are you singing, Petey? Petey, I'm just making up as I go along, really. And then Beans, that's weak songwriting. Yeah, you wrote a bad song, Petey.
Just flicks his cigarette at him.
He's just mad because they're writing like a happy song about these animals stealing all this stuff. And he's like, but I just love the idea. It's like, dude, what are you singing? We cut to Beans. They took
zap, zap, zip, zap, pop.
After the animals, they show up and rush to where all like the female animals are, and all the kids like, we took everything.
Yeah.
Cut to Beans. They took everything. Beans is freaking out, just completely destroying his trailer. He destroys half of it. Stops, gets mad, flips over a table, starts destroying the other side of the trailer in front of everybody. It's so good. But after he destroys the trailer, he gets an idea. So all the animals are underground. They're preparing a big feast. Ash talks to Christopherson. He wants to steal back his dad's tail. The farmers are going to wash out all the animals with cider. Oh. They get like this giant like fire truck or tank or something to put down in there. While having a dinner, Mr. Fox goes to make a toast. We cut to Ash and Christopherson. They sneaking into Bean's house to steal the tail, but they get distracted by some apple snaps. While eating these, they see Beans wearing the necktie on TV. And then Mrs. Beans comes home, and they think that she doesn't notice them. And Ash is like, let's just eat 2 more real quick. But then, like, we cut, she's like doing something in like some drawers.
She's got her glasses on.
And then she puts her knives. She has like a cleaver and like this, like, I don't know, tactical knife essentially. And then she starts like, they just run away. And then we're back to Mr. Fox's speech. He says, we beat him. And then all of a sudden they start hearing a rumbling and notice that the boys are gone. Ash escapes, but he realizes that Christopherson's not behind him. And he just sees like a shoe. Oh, no. And then all of a sudden they all get washed away with cider out into like some sewer area or something. Yeah.
Like he's giving his speech. He's like, I know I've had too much to drink. And then he gets like, cider.
Yeah.
Whoosh. That's cool.
So Ash tells his father that they went to go get his tail, and he's like, what? No. Then we cut to Christopherson being held by the farmers, and we learn that they are permanently stuck in the sewer unless they can find a way to get out. So then we cut to the best shot of the movie. It's the beautiful
with
like waterfall type thing in the sewer. So cool. Mr. Fox tells Mrs. Fox that he is going to hand himself over to get so that they were hand over Christopherson and then
to save everyone.
But they wouldn't. They'd kill both of them probably. And then we got this awesome like little like dialogue between Mr. Fox and Mrs. Fox. Like, Mr. Fox, I don't know, but I have a possible theory. I think I have this thing where I need everybody to think I'm the greatest, the quote unquote fantastic Mr. Fox. And if people aren't knocked out and dazzled and slightly intimidated by me, I don't feel good about myself. Foxes traditionally like to court danger, hunt prey, and outsmart predators, and that's what I'm good at. I think at the end of the day, I'm just Mrs. Fox. I know, we're wild animals. Mr. Fox, I guess we always were. I promise you, if I had to do all this over again, I'd have never let you down. It was always more fun when we did it together. So what happens now? Then she's like, I wish I never married you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I love you, but I
ouch.
shouldn't have married
I
you.
shouldn't have married you. So Mr. Fox goes to Ash and gives him a sweet speech. He explains that he wondered who this little boy was going to be. And then he said, Ash, I'm so glad he was you.
Yeah, and this is real. Like when you're trying to, I've run into this when you're trying to have a moment with your kid, and they just
keep interrupting.
Keep interrupting, and like because they've heard it before, and like just let me get it out.
What I love about this though is after he does the little speech, it just like cuts to Ash's face, and then he's just like
crying.
looking kind of sad, and then I just love when everybody starts crying. It's just like this bunch of water just comes out of their eyes, and it looks so great. So he goes to give himself up. He gives one last.
Yeah, it's like a slower, like goodbye forever.
Yeah. And we see Christopherson in an empty room locked in an apple crate that looks like he could easily get out of. So the other animals, they split up to find Christopherson, but they run into the rats. He explains they have the boy and want to trade the boy for the papa. And then Ash comes up. It's like, that's not his son. I am. Rat's like, I can see.
Yeah, and then they get into a cool fight.
Yeah, and Mr. Fox is here in a scuffle.
Mrs. Fox is like trying to fight him, but she can't.
While the rat tries to bag Ash, Mrs. Fox comes up and saves him, and then he like starts kind of flirting with her. It's like, are you flirting with me? But Rat runs through them and gets Ash and puts him in the bag, but Mr. Fox saves him and kills the rat.
Hell yeah.
But before he dies, he's like huffing and puffing on the ground. Rat tells him where the boy is. Mr. Fox is like, would you have told me where the boy is if I didn't kill you first? Like, never. Then Mr. Fox asks, it's like, what is it? What is it you've been looking for? And he's like, cider.
He just scoops up some, like, I guess, sewer water.
Yeah. And then he's just like melted gold. And then he dies. X's on his eyes.
I know, it was so good. He just floats away in the sewer.
And then they say something. I forgot to write it down, but it was great. So they come up with a plan. And Mr. Fox sends a letter explaining he will give himself up, but Beans is going to have to set up an ambush. But Beans is going to set up an ambush.
My suicide plan is canceled.
Yes.
I've got a new plan.
New plan. And essentially, they're just going to create a diversion.
Burn the town down.
Yeah. Create a diversion, and then they're going to go get Christopherson and come back. That's essentially all it is.
All out war.
But Mrs. Fox paints this giant mural on the wall of the entire town. It looks awesome.
She loves painting storms.
Yes. So the animals start throwing out pine cones that are on fire, causing everything to catch on fire. And Mr. Fox, Kylie escape and hop on a motorcycle.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
They go running towards the motorcycle. They run behind it. You're like, oh, they're going to somehow drive. But no, they come out in a smaller motorcycle.
Like, whose is that? Whose motorcycle was that? Was that Bunce's motorcycle? I don't know.
Oh, so funny. Beans' kid is like, Dad's on fire.
Dad's on fire. Oh, it's so good. Oh, before we go any further, I want to say, so like the newscaster, like the guy that you like.
Yes.
That was Brian Cox.
Oh shit.
It's our third Brian Cox movie this year. It's awesome. I didn't realize that he was in this. I was like, wait, that sounds like Brian Cox.
Oh, there's so many big hit names in here.
Yeah. So Ash pops up randomly on the sidecar, and Mr. Fox is like, how'd you get there?
Come from?
I feel like I'm losing my mind. So they ended up throwing him off the trail by going one way, and they think that they're escaping, but really they're going back to the Beans farm to rescue Christopherson. But then they are confronted by a beagle named Spitz. He's got rabies. But I love before they see Spitz, they have like this awesome sneaking thing. Like they're all three kind of doing the same motion together, and the camera's like pushing in and out. It's such a good shot.
That's so cool.
So Fox is going to distract the beagle while Kylie and Ash save Christopherson. And so they get to Christopherson and Kylie, they get on top of the building, and Kylie can't work the like bars or whatever.
Get the grate open.
And then Ash is like, hey, I can fit in there. You know why? Because I'm little.
Yeah. Little.
It's like, hell yeah. Embrace your identity, boy. So Ash wants to karate chop the lock
Yeah,
off.
he got to teach me about karate real quick.
It's just like 5 minutes of him teaching karate. But he ends up messing up and pushes the apple crate off the table, freeing Christopherson anyways.
Yeah. I love it. He knocks him to the edge, and then Christopherson looks at him, and Ash is just like bent over, looking between his legs at him, like, did I do it?
Did I do it? And then he's like, I'm sorry. For what? It's like from earlier. It's like, oh, you mean all the mean things you did to me and you should apologize a long time ago? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm grumpy and I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and I'm all.
Yeah, they do.
A little shakes his head. I'm weird. It's like, I'm different. Oh, God, I love Ash. So while that was happening, Fox is being attacked by Spitz the dog. He's able to get away and they all are together now and they're able to escape. So they try to make their escape, but they are surrounded by all the farmers and their men. Mr. Fox sees his tail. Mr. Fox prepares for the final showdown with the farmers. And then Mr. Fox, your tractors uprooted my tree. Your posse hunted my family. Your gunmen kidnapped my nephew. Your rat insulted my wife. And you shoot off my tail. I'm not leaving here without that necktie. Bean, kill him.
Just blow the shit.
All the foxes, they duck under a hail of gunfire and pause while the families are, while all the farmers are reloading. Mr. Fox, actually, we should just go. Where'd I park? But then we see Ash runs off and he becomes an athlete and he's able to.
Yeah, he does whack bat.
He whack bats the log and unleashes Spitz. The dog attacks all the humans. Runs up the farmers up this little shed building area. But then we also see the dog rips up Mr. Fox's tail.
Yeah, they're all so afraid of the dog with the rabies. It's great.
And the animals make their escape, but as they're escaping, they're able to pick up the tail.
Yeah,
Christopherson does.
That was pretty cool.
And then we have another part where I was like, wait, why is this so emotional? I don't understand. While driving home, they spot a wolf. It's a beautiful scene.
This part rules.
I know. Fox is like, what are you doing here? It's like, I hear it's going to be a long winter. Like the wolf isn't doing anything. And then Mr. Fox just raises his fist in
solidarity.
And then the fox does it too.
The wolf, he just raises his fist.
And he's like, all right, everybody, wish him good luck. They'll just yell good luck. And then he's like, what a beautiful creature. And then he just drives off. But I think this represents Mr. Fox is like accepting that he is not a wild animal.
He's not a wild animal anymore.
It's like he knows he's not built for it.
He needs to just be a dad.
It's time for him to build a dad. He's a family man now. Cut to 3 days later. The farmers are all waiting for the animals to resurface out of the sewer. We see all the animals making a life down in the sewer, but they're all like kind of like, I'm hungry.
Yeah, one is selling
just drink some water. Yeah. There's a line coming up later. It's like, yeah, Christopherson's dad's thinking about moving up here. It's like, oh, it's a great time to buy. Mr. Fox comes and wants to show them something. He's like pretending, oh, I wonder what's up here. Oh, I'm sure it's nothing good. Then he leads them to this giant supermarket. And Mrs. Fox says, you're really a quote unquote fantastic Mr. Fox.
And this is where the movie ties into Sausage Party.
Yeah. And Mrs. Fox says she's pregnant again. And now they're like, oh, I think we're both glowing. And there's both of them glowing. And Mr. Fox says one more toast. They raise juice boxes to our survival. Why do I almost say Australian? They dance, and it's the best.
Yeah,
and that's the movie.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Man, I love this movie so much.
It is so good.
There was one part I think we forgot to talk about. Mr. Fox is going through, and he's asking every animal what they're good at, and he goes, and they're like, I do this because that's what the animal does, you know.
Yeah, and they're saying their Latin names.
Yeah, and he gets to the badger. He's like, explosions!
Like, what? I just can do it. And I love when he gets to the possum doing that. And he's like, what can I do? Kylie's like, what can I do? And then Mr. Fox is like, I don't know. Just kind of be around.
Yeah, you're just going to be in there.
And it's like, I don't know your Latin name. I don't think you existed in Roman times. I did look up that they do have a Latin name, but I don't know what it is.
No, it's just, this movie is so good and
Mhm.
just gives you that warm and fuzzy
Yeah, it's just
in your
it's
tummy.
so smart. It's so smart and silly. That's what I love about it.
And it just looks. I just want to touch everything
Mhm.
that they made this movie out of.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like yarn and
Right. It's like,
cloth.
I just want a Mr. Fox and I just want to pet him.
Yeah.
That's right. But foxes are dope. They're so cute, but they're also kind of scary because how wiggly they are.
One of the saddest days of my entire life, and I'll never forget. I ran over a fox puppy.
God dang, that sucks, dude. That's the worst. I can't.
I cried.
Yeah.
So much.
I would too.
Because
Are you
like
kidding? A
the
puppy?
mom, there were 3 cubs with the
Mhm.
mom, and I didn't see them. They came out of like nowhere, and I hit the last one in line that we were all crossing along the street in the line, and then the other 3 came back to like see their
Ugh.
dead child
Oh
sibling,
my God.
and they're like, "All right, we just gotta move on."
I would have just drove into a tree.
I know. Like, I'm so sad.
It is the worst hitting an animal driving. It's like, why did you have to cross now?
Yes.
Out of all times to cross a road.
Man.
Well, that's
Now that I brought it down,
a bit of a bummer there, Jason. Crikey.
But
I don't know why I'm getting Australian.
I don't know what it.
I just keep doing Australian accents now. So we're gonna move on to our first category. It's called the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the fine. It's where we go through and tell you what we think the good is, something that we like about it, whether it be a scene, just scene, the acting, whatever. The bad, something that we didn't like about the film. The ugly, something we don't think aged well. The fine, which is something we do think aged well.
Good. I think the animation.
Yeah, that was one of mine. Stop motion and
amazing.
Adult story wrapped in a kid friendly.
Oh yeah,
bow. Yeah.
That's
pretty much
great.
it, right? I mean, it's
I don't think there's really anything bad though.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember,
maybe lying to your wife, like the way it kind of exposes how we lie to the people we love.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I guess that is
that sucks.
just like.
But it wasn't a bad part of the movie. It made the movie great.
Yeah.
Just saying that's just like.
I guess the mom could have been a less passive character of the film. Maybe.
I was really hoping she was going to kick
it.
that rat's ass.
Yeah.
But she kind of got ran over a little bit.
You got anything for the ugly? I don't have anything that aged poorly. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Maybe like Beans. He just don't be like Beans.
Yeah, don't be Beans. You know what? The farmers, bad guys.
Don't be a farmer.
And I guess the ugly, it's not, or I guess the bad, is just consumerism.
Yeah.
That's what's drawing all these animals out of the.
They're just trying to get better homes. They don't want to live in holes anymore. We need affordable housing for wild animals.
Exactly. Man, it's just like you really feel for Mr. Fox. It's like he just wants to live in a nicer house, not in a hole. Or don't we all? Don't all
He just
humans
wants an American dream, but in England.
And for the fine, I picked adult storytelling for kids.
Man, it fucking ages so well.
Yeah.
When it's done right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like they fucking nailed it with this one. They cussing nailed it.
So what's you got a double feature?
Man, I was thinking a lot about this. Wallace and Gromit always comes to mind.
Oh yeah,
that's
great.
It's so goofy.
Wallace and Gromit, Chicken Run.
Chicken Run.
All those
so good.
films,
like those English like stop animations.
Yeah.
With the big teeth and the grins. Oh,
that's great.
God, I love those.
I love Chicken Run. I need to rewatch it, see if it's still anything.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson voices the chicken.
For real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
That'd be an easy what age the worst. So my double feature, I actually have 2 films, so it's a triple feature. Where the Wild Things Are.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
You haven't seen it? Well, it's based off the book. Everybody knows that little book, right?
Sure.
It's Spike Jonze, which we need to do a Spike Jonze maybe soon. But it's great. It's just, a kid meets these monsters and he's being a wild animal, but he's got to learn that it's time to grow up. And my other one is Paranorman.
Paranorman.
You've never seen Paranorman? It's
I think maybe
you probably have. It's stop motion and stuff like that. It's all about this kid. He sees like ghosts and stuff, and there's zombies. We're doing it next October. We're doing it next October. There's no way we're not doing it. But yeah, that's the episode.
Oh, this movie fucking rules.
Yeah, it's great.
So much.
I love it.
What are we doing next week?
Next week, we're doing Gladiator.
Oh, yeah.
In celebration of Ridley Scott's new movie, Napoleon, starring Joaquin Phoenix. We are doing a Ridley Scott Joaquin Phoenix movie. And Russell Crowe. Dang it. Also, if you just so happen to be listening to this, and I just want to clarify some things on the Exorcist episode. Dakota said that Kurt Russell was in the Pope's Exorcist. It was Russell Crowe, not Pope. I've heard people say things about it. Also, I made a Gmail so that you guys can talk to us and send us emails, ask questions, you can send an email saying what you think about Gladiator, or if you want to send us an email, what you think about Fantastic Mr. Fox. But if you email us at We Recommend Mailbag, spelled exactly how you think you spell those words.
Sounds awesome.
And maybe we'll read some emails. If you leave a comment or a review, we'll read those.
Hell yeah, people.
So just send us what you think about the episode, what you think about the movie that we're covering, and we may read it on live.
I can't wait.
So yeah, just holler back at us, yo.
Holler at your boys.
Yeah. And you can. I'd like to thank Joey. Man, I'm all over the place. Me adding that little mailbag thing really threw me off my
what do you think the
outro.
G in Gmail stands for? Goo?
Google.
Oh.
Google Mail.
I was just gonna say goo.
Goo Mail. Hey, where's my goo mail? Dang, I lost my mail's got goo on it. I'm doing this voice apparently.
We have goo mail. We have a snail that gets all over our mail every day.
Oh, really?
It crawls all over it and leaves a snail trail.
Yesterday, some truck drove by, just straight up hit our mailbox.
That sucks.
That's all bent up. Barely close it.
Sucks.
They just kept driving. It's like, are you kidding me? Well, anyways, our intro and outro is produced by Joey Prosser.
Thanks,
you can
Joey.
follow him on X at Mr. Joey Prosser. He moved to LA, by the way.
Whoa, cool.
See you guy. And if you want to follow us on our social medias, or you want to listen to us on a different platform, just go to our Linktree, /We Recommend Podcast. And it's the quickest way to follow us or just connect to anything for us. So do that. And this has been We Recommend. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Jason.
And you are without a doubt the 5.5 most wonderful wild animals I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
So let's raise our boxes to our survival.
Hell
See you next week.
I'll drink to that.
Bye.
Bye.